front of the cameras and stuff?
I've never seen this man right in front of me.
Yeah, I know, right? Not close.
Yeah, jeez.
Sorry.
All right,
No pressure.
who we got?
And so obviously no Robert on Sunday. See him in Hawaii and the locker room this week. Just what type of challenge is it trying to replace a guy like that on defense?
Yeah, I mean, I'll leave Robert's status to Braves, but yeah, obviously, he's a captain out there, but we always have the mindset of next man up. And if it's whoever, if it's, Gibby or Tavai or Ellis has to step up, all the faith in the world in those guys.
How big of a challenge is Henry?
Yeah, he's a future Hall of Famer. Big, fast, good contact balance. He's competitive. Like every run, he thinks he can take it the distance. He's had a 99-yard run in his career. So that's sort of some truth to that. So he's going to be a challenge for sure.
And how much you look forward to watching your guys, as you said, you feel good about Robert if he can't go, about bouncing back and being able to stop that run.
Yeah. All the guys want the taste out of their mouth from this past weekend. I think they're excited. They're eager to get back there, eager to get back out there to play. Just good defensive football. There's a lot of disappointment with all of us, coaches, players, all of them, and I think everybody just wants to get back out there and get that taste out of their mouth.
Obviously, you guys were very strong against the run early in the season, then injuries start to pile up. How do you improve now with guys going down with injuries?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to really focus on, the technique of the guys that are out there. Like I said, anybody that comes in, we would never put a guy out there and not have trust him to get the job done. I understand it's it's different guys that are going out there from what it was previous, and starters, backups, however you want to say it. We all prepare like starters, but just really working on the technique in their job and make sure we're not chasing plays. You don't want to get like a game like this past Sunday. There's a lot of excitement towards it, what was on the line, and sometimes guys want to make plays and they get a little excited, and they might step out of their responsibility to try to make a play. And we just got to do our job with good technique, good fundamentals.
We talked to Josh a little bit about the difference between the first half and the second half on Sunday. And admittedly, this is a broad brush question, but what happened for you guys down the stretch that maybe you were doing in the first half that maybe you weren't doing in the second half, or was it more about what Buffalo was doing?
Yeah, I'd say both. Josh Allen's, he was MVP last year. He's a hard guy to stop. James Cook's a hell of a back. That O-line, great O-line. I mean, hats off to those guys. They played better than us that second half. We start out fast. I think one thing we had to do better at is just responding to the potential that adversity came our way. We just got to respond a little bit better. And again, just stay within your job. Again, as that moment comes up and guys want to make the play to get the momentum back, okay, well, hey, don't leave your job doing that. And like I said, guys want to get that taste out of their mouth, and I think they're really excited to get back out there and fix that.
Everyone talks about Derrick Henry, but what kind of challenges does Keaton Mitchell present as well?
Yeah, I mean, when he's in there, we got to be aware. He's got some juice. He's got some gas. He can roll. He's a dangerous player in the run game and the pass game. And, if he has too much space, he can make you pay. He's a good player.
With quarterbacks like Josh and Lamar,
yeah,
how important is discipline? Kind of what you were saying, but from everybody, all 11 guys, and what you're trying to stop.
Yeah, you have to, because like Josh Lamar, back-to-back MVPs, they're going to find that open seam. That's the thing. And, you treat it like all these big games, we play these good teams. Like, if you make a mistake, they're going to find it. So we got to do our best to just play good, sound team defense and make sure everybody's just doing their job. They're 111th, to the best of their ability, and be coordinated while doing it.
So around Terrell walked through the locker room this week, and players just said just how nice it was to see him. For you guys, how nice is it just to have him around a little bit, this week?
Yeah, anytime I'm around, brightens my day. He's a mentor of mine, a friend of mine, and he just brightens everybody's day when he walks in. Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
you guys.
Thank
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I'll start. I just want to ask you about, containing the edge on the zone reads and the read options this week, and just how much of a challenge is that? And is it just about, we got an assignment players, don't try to do everything?
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
a lot of these quarterbacks we play these days do it, but Lamar holds another, bigger challenge, obviously. But just having a mix up of calls, and having your eyes in the right place, on the mesh and stay when you are a serve for players, staying square and keeping your eyes there. Don't turn your shoulders. I mean, those little things they look for. But it's just being assignment sound, and it's a big thing this week. Everything that we do is just doing your job. Don't try to go reach for plays. The good teams, like we saw last week, can beat you.
Yes, and just for your group too, just how important is just rush lane integrity and not getting past the quarterback when you're playing Josh and Lamar
it's
and these
huge.
guys.
It's huge. These guys, they step up, they get out. We already know the issue when you're rushing forward. You got 2 open gaps, and so you just got to mix in games and be smart, coordinated rushes. It's hard as it is, when you're rushing that many and knowing what he wants to get out. We spend a lot of time on, we'd like to step up and then get out to the sidelines, get to the numbers. Is he a guy that likes to spin out when he gets to the top? A guy like Lamar can do it all. He's a receiver back there that he's going to take what you give him. And so, you're not going to be 100% keeping them in the pocket. You just got to limit those. And then again, just like the zone read, mix up what we're doing.
Yeah. Is it difficult to still get pressure when you're trying to also keep them in the pocket?
It is. It's just, it's funny that, look at it every week, but it's very rare with those type of quarterbacks. You just can flat out win around the edge. Just how it is. It's hard enough as it is with the tackle. But when you have these guys, you could beat our set lines at 4 yards. You can beat them at 4, and this guy can step up and can get out just like that. So you've got to have certain calls when we can and when we can't, and you've got to be really good at your level rushes, like really good.
Yeah.
And like you said, you got to be coordinated across the line. There's no just, hey, I'm just gonna, unless you got a spy or something, I'm just gonna go flat out and beat this guy. That's just the reality of it. It was great early on in my career when you had a little bit of those statue quarterbacks and take chances with Phillip Rivers and I can't believe he came back, but stuff like that where you can take chances here. I mean, it's tough. You saw a couple of them last week where, we are leveling and get the job, and he's still breaking out and getting through there. And so, it just holds a challenge. I mean, he's an MVP player for a reason.
Kind of along those lines.
The flannel, man.
Oh, thank you very much.
Big flannel guy.
Gotta break him out.
We gotta break him out. I can't wait. I wish I could wear him in the summer.
I'm saying along those lines, trying to get pressure while also containing. How hard was it with a guy like Derrick Henry, where you gotta keep your gap integrity, but knowing he's a guy that you really got to gang tackle and get everybody to the football?
Oh yeah, I mean you got a duo of problems there with him. He's big. Played him before. I played both these guys. The thing about him, he's big and he's athletic, but people don't realize he can also break. He likes to get on the edge too. You think you have it contained, he gets out and he wants to get on some corners and stuff. But you have to gang tackle him. You have to gang tackle Lamar. I mean, and you got going back to the pass rush stuff. I mean, you can't stop. I mean, most sacks happen anyways on your first and second, third effort. And it's important just to keep rushing, rush, and it's not over until we can get him down. But you're exactly right. Same thing with Big Boy. We got to everybody's got to get onto him. We got to stay in our gaps. Play gap and a half when we have to at times, and gang tackle this guy. You're exactly right, man.
How do you think your run defense as a whole? I mean, you guys been more base,
sure,
more loaded boxes. Just how do you think as a whole it's been the past couple of weeks?
Obviously we're struggling a little bit. Talk about some gap interrogation. Geez, I'm tired. Good for you. A long week, but again, everybody doing a job. Everybody wants to say, hey, it's the if it's run, it's the D line and the linebackers. If it's pass, it's the back end. Right? It's all coordinated. It's all together. And again, it's about people doing their jobs and being consistent with your technique and your fundamentals and stuff like that. But it's been down these last couple of weeks, and got to get back to what we were at the beginning of the year and just stay focused. Yeah.
Mike, how much do you enjoy getting ready for a primetime game in December? Stuff don't matter, being in the mix.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. Done this a long time, and when you have a good football team like this, you're fighting for something. You're always fighting for something, but like you said, man, when you get in this thing, playoffs are coming. You get games like this, games like last week, man. It's what it's all about, man. These are games and seasons you tell your grandchildren about, things are clicking, man. This is a good football team. This is a young football team. It's still learning how to win, and that we've won 11 games. But you're exactly right. To me, there's nothing better than December football when you're playing for something. Yeah,
I feel like this is a good chance to get ready for the playoffs.
I do, because these are playoff teams. Last week, you know, with Josh and with Lamar in Baltimore and you know, Harbaugh. You know, I played for Ravens back in the day, and it was Harbaugh's first year. It was, I think, my third year. So I know what kind of coach he is. I know what kind of players Baltimore look for. They're going to be tough. They're going to be physical. And this is a playoff team, you know, just like last week. And so you're dang right. This is a good look what we're going to get and good football and you got to take advantage of. We play opponents like this and got to be sound at what you do. When you play a good football team and you get out of a gap or you take a chance here and there, you're gonna get exposed and they're gonna find it. They always do, right? Sometimes you can get away with some stuff, and you know, I think this last week was a good reminder that, you know, we can't stray away from our fundamentals and our technique and go outside of what we're trying to accomplish.
Just curious, coach in the position. I know it's the other side of the ball, but Kyle Van Noy, a guy who played here, he's been there for, you know, he's been around the NFL for a number of years. Just over the years, I don't know if you've noticed him and what do you see that makes him effective and allowed him to be effective, you know, more than a decade in the NFL?
With who?
Kyle Van Noy.
Oh, Van Noy, yeah, older guy, a guy that's played a lot of ball. When you get those guys, kind of like Harold Landry, you know, they've seen a lot of football, they played a lot of offenses. You know, a guy like him, he can stand up, get his hand on the ground. He can drop, he can rush. You know, he's kind of like a Swiss Army knife. And guys like that, man, just are valuable on your team. They're smart. You know they're going to be in the right place. You know, I don't know him personally, but I heard he's a great guy and he's good in the locker room. And guys like that, man, are just valuable to your team. That's why they play 10 years, 11 years, 12 years in the NFL.
What do you remember about that first year with Harbaugh?
Oh, God, man, that was a long time ago. What was that, like 07? Yeah, I guess what I remember the most was, you know, with Billick, they were just totally two different type coaching styles. But I remember just how aggressive he was when he came in. You know, it was, I wouldn't say Billick was like laid back by any means, but I mean, Harbaugh came in, and during that time, the defenses were like real good. And I mean, he got after the defense, you know, like he was challenging them in practice and all those guys, like he didn't come in timid at all, you know, by what was around him and some of those players. And so he really got those guys to respond.
Could you see the former
last sequence do what?
Could you see the former quarterback in him?
No, I couldn't see that. No, but man, a long time ago. Gosh, it seems like 40 years ago.
False start.
Huh?
False start.
I know. What's going on, man? Over there by the hot chocolate over there.
What's your best Mike Rabel story that you could share for public consumption?
This is kind of funny, but I was a big Mike Vrabel fan. I mean, he's 50, I'm 45, but in college, he was my favorite player, right? And I actually told him this the other day. He used to wear those sleeves, you know. I started wearing them in there, right? So I kind of made him feel old the other day. But you kind of talk about the, you know, Van Noy guy that's played, but he was the type of guy that was just does his job, man. He sounded what he does. He was tough. Love, you know, he was somebody I looked up to when I watched him play. He stood up, got his hand in the ground, kind of like what I did in college. He was just moving all around, was catching touchdown passes. But yeah, I told him that the other day. I think I made him feel a little bit old. But yeah, he was just he was one of my favorite players when I was in college. So a lot of stories are coming in my head, but I got too many cameras in there. And stuff like that.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Remember who it was one of the vet guys that was like, he's just trying to find out who you can count on when stuff gets tight in the fourth quarter. So just keep going back, keep putting a smile on your face. But it held to a standard, but at the same time for a reason. Everything is for a reason. It's always intentional, that's the thing that I think about is everything, whether it's a joke, whether it's serious, whether it's this, that, it's always intentional in how he does it.
Thank you, both him and Brady, by the way. When I used to watch practice in training camp, same thing. He used to give Brady the hardest time. Loved it. Yeah. You know, so those are good memories. Thank you for doing this together.
Yep.
Nice.
Appreciate it.
Sorry.
Actually, now, just a quick question for you. Not a coach's favorite subject, but after seeing Marcus or Carlton on state practice, what type of challenge does it present for you guys when you have a couple of veterans out or dealing with something and other people need to step up?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're full stack or not, it's always a challenge. Every Sunday, every team has guys that are good enough to beat you if you don't play well. And in the case of those guys, it's guys that have made a lot of plays for us. But to me, the challenge is the challenge, and you hear it all the time at every organization, next man up. So we got to get the next guys ready to play. The Ravens are not going to feel sorry for us, and we got to go out there and put our best football on display.
Yeah. What have you think about Charles Woods and Miles Battle this season?
Yeah, I mean, they both are consummate pros. They are here, consistent. They work hard. They ask good questions. They're attentive in meetings, and they're both guys that kind of mirror what my path was like a little bit when I played, where it was always that prepare like a starter and stay ready and all those things that you hear. But when you get a moment to have some opportunities show up, then you're glad you did that. And both of those guys have steadily and consistently done it.
Thank you.
When it comes to Charles, just how much in the slot has he gotten, obviously with Marcus' situation?
Yeah, since he's been here, he's worked in there. He's worked inside and outside, and that's something that I think going all the way back to probably OTAs, just talking about how valuable it is to mix guys in there because the game looks so different. There's a lot more communication. It's like you're a miniature, not in stature, but a little bit linebacker in there, depending on calls that you're in. So the game is happening from both angles as opposed to at corner when you're looking from outside in. And it's an instinctive position, but those instincts come with time and reps, and you try to steal as many of those as you can.
Yes. Got one, Karen?
No, I'm good.
We're good.
All right.
Thanks for staying. Appreciate it.